Hi yogis, welcome back to my channel and welcome to your practice today. So this is actually my second time recording this recording today. My first one I thought I had it all aced, and then when I went to upload it, realized that half of my the volume was gone. You no longer hear my voice. So yes to moments like that, right? All right. So for our intention today, I thought of having this moment of pause, breath, release, and reboot. So we all need those moments, right? This is obviously what called you here to this practice today. Maybe the title that you saw, to pause, breathe, release, and reboot. So as you practice through each pose, and just to really allow yourself to be in the pause, to be in the breath, to be in the release, and to allow the body, mind, and whatever else needs to reboot in your body, allow it to happen. All right, doesn't that sound good? I'm excited. And I get to do it twice. How awesome is that? Yay, body. All right, props today, a blanket and or 2 blocks. These are going to be optional, but have those ready if you have them, and you may want to use them. All right, let's get started. We're going to start laying down actually, so lowering yourself down nice and easy. And let's bring the feet out a little further than hip width distance. And then just let the knees fall in towards one another, letting them rest up against each other. And doing your best to release any activation of the legs. So we want them very soft here. And you can bring the hands to the belly, or maybe bring the arms out to the side, whatever feels most intuitive and most comfortable for you right now. And let's just take our cleansing breath. So inhale through the nose, all the way to the belly. Open mouth, exhale. Let's do that once again. Let's inhale for the count of 3. And then see if you can exhale all the way through the count of 6. And then filling your entire body from the feet to the hips, the lower back, the spine, the shoulders, your head and arms, all sink down to the earth. And just notice if you are trying to press the low back to the earth in more of an active pose, and let that go. Just let the lower back be in its natural curve, its natural form here. Releasing any tension in the jaw. And slowing your breath down. Allowing yourself to come into this time that you are setting for yourself. And then let's bring our intention into an affirmation. So I am here to pause. I am here to breathe. I am here to release. And I am here to reboot. And letting the truth of each of those flow through your body. Bringing action to each words in the most subtle, relaxing way. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Cleansing inhale and exhale. Let's do that same thing. Inhaling for the count of 3. Really fill the body up. And then open mouth, exhale for the count of 6. And opening the eyes. You can bring the arms back to the body. And widen the knees about hip width distance. Maybe walk your feet in a little if they were past the hips. And then let's keep that left foot where it is. Extend that right leg all the way up. Point and flex through the foot. Maybe rotate through the ankle. Good. And then we'll cross that right ankle over the left thigh without touching the right knee. Just energetically push it away from you. Good. And now making our way into Reclined Pigeon or Reclined Swan. So you'll bring that left knee in towards you, threading that right arm through. So though the names are different, the pose is still the same. In Yin Yoga, they made a few changes to the yoga poses names. So this one, instead of being Reclined Pigeon in regular yoga, in Yin Yoga, it is considered Reclined Swan. Let's let that left foot, left leg be nice and soft. Have a gentle, gentle flex in the right foot, not putting too much energy into the legs. And then we want to make sure that those shoulders and the shoulder blades are rooted down to the earth. So if you're finding there's a lot of space between the shoulders and the floor, you may want to lower the hands down a bit. So maybe bringing the hands behind the thigh. And or if this is still a little too intense for you, you can come back to the beginning of this pose by lowering that left foot down and just resting here. You'll still get that stretch in the right hip, which we're focusing on. Let's take a cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, send the breath to the belly, the lower back. Open mouth, exhale. Find where you can release. And then just allow yourself to be here. Be still. Be in this pause. And breathing in and out through the nose. Notice where the body may be holding. Sometimes there may still be some activation in that left leg. Maybe in the shoulders or the neck. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. And releasing the hands, lowering that left foot down, bringing the right foot back to your mat or to the floor. And then we'll make our way to the other side. So extending that left leg all the way up, giving it a nice generous point and flex and rotation through the ankle. And then we'll come into our reclined swan here. So crossing that left ankle, pushing the left knee away, maybe bringing that right knee up and towards you. Right foot, right leg, nice and relaxed. Gentle flex in the left foot, shoulders plugged down. And let's take an inhale to the belly. Exhale to soften and release. Our affirmation, once again, I am here to pause. I am here to breathe. I am here to release. And I am here to reboot. And letting go of any outside distractions, noises, or even thoughts. Just let the thoughts be on pause. And giving the mind some time to reboot. Taking 5 more breaths here. Last breath. Inhale fully. Exhale, let it all go. And we'll bring that right foot back to the mat and bring the left foot down as well. Let's just do a little windshield wiper here. So opening up the arms onto the side, palms facing up, and just dropping the knees side to side. Maybe you do one at a time. Maybe you do them both at the same time, whatever feels good for you here. Let's just do one more on each side, however that looks for you. Good. And then walk the feet back in towards one another. And we'll press into the feet, lift up the hips, shift the hips over to the left, lower the hips down, and then roll over to your right side. And then very slowly press ourselves up. Very nice. From here, let's come into our tabletop for a little cat-cow. So this is maybe where you want to use your blanket if you're on a hardwood floor or a hard surface and you need some extra padding underneath the knees. Might feel nice for the knees. All right, coming into our tabletop, shoulders aligned over the wrist, hips over the knees, feet are hip width distance. Let's untuck the toes. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And then middle fingers facing forward. Coming into a few rounds of cat and cow here. Take your inhale. Drop the belly, send the tailbone up. Reach the heart forward. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Good. If you're having any lower back flare up today or any issues, you can just pull the belly in slightly so you're not in such a deep sway in the back here. Good. And then we'll exhale, come into our cat, pressing away from the earth, rounding through the spine. Bring the chin to the chest. And then inhale, coming back into your cow. Arms are nice and active in each pose. And exhale, pressing into cat. Let's take two more. Good, then we'll come back into our tabletop. And just because we're going to be using the wrist a little bit here, I want to do a little bit of wrist stretching. So using your left hand, you're going to flip the hand so the palm is facing up and then bring the top of your hand to the floor. The arm is somewhat active here, so you should be feeling this stretch in the top of your hand. And now just send those hips back towards the heels just a little bit till you feel that stretch a little deeper on the top of the hand. Yeah. Just taking a few breaths here. Last breath. And then bringing yourself back to center, we'll lift up that left hand and then just do some wrist circles. Yeah, mine just gave a little pop. All right, let's make our way to the other side. So pressing into that left hand, we'll flip that right hand over, palm facing up. Sending those hips back just until you feel that stretch. Not over intensifying this. Taking two more breaths here. And last breath. And coming back to center. And then we'll do those same wrist circles on the right. Very good. All right, bringing both palms back to the floor. We're going to extend that right leg all the way back, tucking the toes, and then pressing through the heel as though you're trying to press the heel to the floor. Arms are nice and active here, lifting the upper body. So we are doing a little activation in the arms and the upper body. So not quite yin here, but giving a nice stretch into that calf and hamstring. Then we're going to inhale, rock forward, come on onto the tippy toes of that right foot. Good. And then exhale, press back through that heel. Oh yeah, feeling that. And let's do that once again. Inhale to rock forward. And exhale to press it back. Good. And now keeping the leg extended, just bring the body back to center. We're going to lift that right foot just a bit, swing the leg over to the left. Toes are tucked. Sorry, my foot is kind of getting cut off here. I'll bring it back a bit. And then send that heel back. Yep. And now we're going to bring that right knee to the floor. Untuck the toes. And now you can come down to the forearms. And this is where you have the option to use your blocks. You can maybe use a block underneath the head here to support your head, or maybe underneath the forearms. I like to just clasp my hands together, let the head be heavy. So we are focusing on that left hip, that IT band. Let's take a full inhale here to the belly, to the lower back. Exhaling through the nose, finding some release. Notice if you're holding any tension in the shoulders or in the neck here. Creating some space where that tension can be released. This is a really good pose if you sit for long hours in your job or if you're driving. Slowing the breath down. Notice if the glutes or the hips are hugging or squeezing or clenching. Doing your best to let that go. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Open mouth, exhale. Good. And very carefully coming out of the pose, just lifting your head. You can kind of shift yourself over to that right forearm, bring the left hand to the floor, and then pressing yourself up. Tuck the toes of that right foot, reach through that leg. So extending that right leg, good. And then we're going to bring that right leg back to center, and then bringing the right knee back to the mat or to the floor. And then you're going to just shift your hips side to side. Good. If the wrists are kind of giving you a little cry out here, you can just kind of rotate through the wrist once again. Might feel good. Good. And we'll make our way to the left side. So let's extend that left leg. Toes tucked, press through that heel. Holding the upper body up here. Good. Taking your inhale, rock forward to the tippy toes. And then exhale, press it back. Let's do that once again. Inhale to rock forward. Exhale to press it back. Good. Inhale, coming to center. And now we'll cross that left leg over to the right side. Reach through that heel, so you're extending that leg again. Bringing that knee down, left knee to the floor, untuck the toes, and then coming on down to the forearms here. Just noticing if this side was tighter than the other or vice versa. We typically always have one side of our body that's tighter than the other. Not making
anything more about it other than that just is how our body is. And just being in observance. Taking this pause out of your day to be within your body. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. And beginning to lift the upper body up. And kind of pressing into that left forearm as you bring that right palm to the mat or floor. Pressing up through the hands. Good. Tucking the toes of the left foot. Reaching that left leg back. And then swinging it around. And then left knee to the floor. And shifting the hips side to side. Good. From here, let's come into a child's pose. So we will widen the knees, bring the big toes to touch, and then send those hips all the way back towards the heels. Good. And then we'll walk the hands out, letting the heart sink to the earth, and bringing your forehead to your mat. And if your child's pose looks a little different than mine, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. All of our bodies are different, so each pose will be different. But if you need a little extra support, you can always bring a block and place that underneath the forehead. Sometimes if my lower back is a little flared up, I like to bring a block and place it underneath my chest. It kind of just lifts me up a little bit rather than being in this so deep. And that feels really good in the lower back. And let's take a breath here, breathing in through the nose to the belly to the lower back. And then open mouth exhale. Letting the arms sink down. Letting the hips get even heavier. Just gently dropping to the heels. I am here to pause. I am here to breathe. I am here to release. I am here to reboot. Allowing that to happen right here, right now. Maybe you release something that occurred today within your space that doesn't serve you. Maybe it was something that isn't even yours and you just took it on. Giving yourself permission to release that. Letting it go. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Open mouth, exhale. Gliding the hands back down towards you. We'll press into the hands, pressing ourselves up, coming back into our tabletop. Yeah. And then just to transition out of this pose, 2 options here. You can cross at the ankles, send those hips all the way back, and then swing the legs out in front of you. Or you can swing the legs over to one side and then come to sit on the opposite hip and extend the legs out in front. I'm just going to turn myself back around this way. So let's just all extend the legs, give them a little shake. And then we'll make our way back to our back. So lowering down nice and easy. Bringing the knees into the chest. Gently rocking side to side. And then let's open our arms out to a T with the palms facing up. And then drop the legs over to the right side. So coming into a supine twist. Good. Now we want to focus on keeping that left shoulder plugged down to the earth. So notice as you do that, if the left leg pops up a little bit, if the left knee pops up a little bit, and that's okay. And if there's a lot of space in between the thighs, you can use your block here or a blanket and just kind of giving that support to prop the leg up. Good. Let's take an inhale to the belly. Exhale, find where you can soften, find where you can release. So that may be in the lower back, the hips, the glutes, the legs. Maybe in the shoulders, the neck, or the head. Our body gives us so much to work with here. So as we are being observant in the body, noticing the areas where tension is being held or where there's some resistance, and having that opportunity to use our breath to breathe into the space, manipulate the muscles so that the muscles can soften. And finding that release, creating space in the body. Maybe it feels good to look over to the left side too if you haven't already. Let's take 3 more slow, deep breaths here. Last breath. Let's take our inhale for the count of 3. Open mouth exhale for the count of 6. Good. We'll bring the arms back to the body. If you had your head turned, bring it back to center. And then very slowly bringing that left knee into your chest. Start rolling onto your back. Then bring the right knee in as well. Gently rocking side to side. Good. And then we'll make our way to the other side. So extending those arms out. And then very gently dropping the legs over to the left. Maybe looking over to the right. Good. Letting that right shoulder sink down, using any props that you may need here. Taking that inhale to the belly. Exhale, soften. And really working with the body here, with each breath, with each exhale, finding where you can release a little more. So we don't want to just be in the pose and holding the pose. We want to allow the body to surrender and release in the pose and going deeper and deeper and deeper, all on its own. And last 3 breaths here. And let's take our inhale for the count of 3. Open mouth exhale for the count of 6. And bringing your head back to center, arms to the body. Slowly bringing that right knee into the chest, rolling onto your back. Rocking side to side. Let's give ourselves a big hug here. Really squeeze the legs in. And then release. Lowering the feet down one at a time to the mat, to the floor. And we'll make our way into our final pose here, Shavasana. So extending the legs all the way out. Arms to the side with the palms facing up. I always like to encourage taking up lots of space here. Just notice if you kind of hold your body in. And this is typically what we do all day. So while you're here and you're pausing, breathing, releasing, and wanting to reboot, take up space. Take up lots of space. And let's take a cleansing breath. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale, letting everything go.
Feel the muscles relax. Feel the bones get heavy. Feel your body become lighter. I am here to pause. I am here to breathe. I am here to release. And I am here to reboot. Allowing all of that to happen right here, right now. Let's take a full inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Let's inhale for 3. Open mouth, exhale for 6. And slowly begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And gently rocking your head side to side. Extending the arms up, back behind you, stretching. Maybe flex the feet. And then release. Bring the feet to your mat, to the floor. And then rolling over to your right side in fetal pose, taking a breath here. Resting the head on the right arm, left hand to the earth. And then we'll press ourselves up, nice and easy. Let's come to meet in easy seated pose. Let's bring the hands to the heart, taking a cleansing breath. Taking a few moments here. Notice how the body's feeling. Notice how your overall well-being is. Honoring yourself for taking this time out of your day to pause, to breathe, to release and reboot. And gently bowing our heads. Thank you, yogis, for rolling out your mats with me, for doing this practice for yourself, for pausing for yourself, for breathing, for releasing. And may you truly, truly, truly feel this overall reboot through your whole body, your energy body, your subtle body, your mind, your spirit, your entire being. Thank you. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of your day or evening. Namaste.